listen, anybody deny this guy is the GOAT anymore? I don't think anybody would deny it. Not only is he the greatest light heavyweight ever, he looks like the greatest heavyweight ever too. So, I mean, there were a couple of interviews leading up to this fight where he was saying, I'm going to make this look easy. And I thought that was a silly thing to say. The guy is unfucking believable, man. He really is.
I never forget when he claimed the light heavyweight title that you kind of mentioned at the time. You were a little worried about him and how he was going to be in his career and what was going to happen. What do you think now that he's your heavyweight champion? I mean, do you feel like he's a new guy at this point, or you still have concerns about what happens?
You know, let's just put it this way. I mean, Jon Jones, there's no doubt that Jon Jones is special. He's the greatest of all time. He's undefeated. He's never lost a fight ever in the UFC. He's fought all the best competition out there. But dealing with him is like dealing with an artist, is the best way to explain it. And I don't know what's going to happen from here on out, you know? I'm just happy we got to see what we saw tonight. It just and many of us that have been in the game for a long time, some of you might disagree, some of you might agree. I'm a big believer in ring rust and what it does to you. We didn't even get to see any ring rust. Who knows if there was any ring rust tonight? He just went in there and literally made it look like nothing, like it was the easiest thing in the world for him to do. He's a total freak of nature, and he's the best ever.
Joe Rogan brought up the idea of Stipe at International Fight Week. Is that something that you guys have kicked around, or do you feel like that could be the plan?
I don't know when, but he's definitely fighting Stipe.
You
and I ever really argued about how good he could be. He was. He is. He's always been the great. I mean, through all the things that me and Jones have been through, you know, in both of our careers here, I've never denied that this guy's the best ever. The question is, how big would he be right now? And I say, I mean, you see, he's got the biggest heavyweight fight of all time, one of the top grossing fights. Eric was just telling me tonight this is going to be one of the biggest social media events we've ever done, et cetera, et cetera. The question is, this guy should be on Nike commercials. He should be, those are the things when you talk about how big and how great Jon Jones could have been had he not had the personal problems. Those are the questions that we'll never know.
And you look at him now, do you think, given his attitude that he has, you know, he seems so grateful for things, he seems in great condition, that he can go on a long time, right? I mean, who knows what he wants to do, but do you see in him that he has a number of fights in him if he chooses to do that?
I don't know. This is what you get when you're dealing with Jon Jones. I know he wants to fight Stipe. He wants to fight Stipe. He's interested in that fight. You know, if that fight happens, awesome. We get to see this talented freak, you know, perform again. If not, I don't know. Who knows? I told Hunter, charter a jet and send him right back to New Mexico right now. Let's get him home safe and sound.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about was like, was Gone, you know, he made Gone not look very good. And Cyril gets out wrestled by Francis, and now comes in this fight. Do you think Cyril needs to kind of go back to the drawing board and kind of take a look at what he's doing? Obviously a great athlete, but maybe hasn't gotten all the pieces together that he needs to compete against these kind of guys?
Well, the Francis fight, if he doesn't go for the heel hook, he wins that fight. I mean, he made one silly mistake, you know, out of the 5 rounds. Tonight, to even compare Francis Ngannou or Cyril Gane to Jon Jones, you can't even compare him to this guy. He went in there and finished. I don't know how you got. I still can't fucking believe what I saw. How easy and how fast and how simple he made that look. It's still blowing my mind. So it's hard to even talk about him in any other heavyweights.
Last thing I wanted to ask you is, you know, how much of it do you think in his case is mental? Like, you know, he's a guy, when he focuses, you know, he seems like he raises it up even a higher level than he is, you know, when he's, you know, doing whatever else he does. When he said he didn't train for Gus and he fought a great fight, but then when he does focus, he seems like against DC, he brought it up another level. Do you think that mental aspect of his game could get him higher and bring him to another level in his in the sport?
I don't know if there is another level. I think he is the level. he's the level. I mean, I've heard stories that I don't know if they're true or not true. I don't know what's true or not true anymore these days. But if the stories are true that I've heard of Jon Jones in the past when he was the dominant light heavyweight champion, wow. Stories of not training and partying too much and just showing up here and fighting these incredible fights and beating the absolute best in the world. And even if you look at him tonight, he's had 3 years to put on the weight. A lot of people are saying, I don't know, he looks soft. What if this, that, and, blah, blah, blah. Cyril Gane is a monster in great physical shape and everything else. Jon Jones went in there and just treated him like he was a little kid. So I think he is the level. I don't know if there's any other level higher than Jon Jones.